Cendejas was born here in Arcata, went to Arcata High, College of the Redwoods, HSU, and is now a grad student in sustainable business at Humboldt State University. After graduation, he wants to stay in this community working with nonprofits and small businesses. Matthew's the past president of Lost Coast Rotaract. He's been on a Rotoplast mission to Bangladesh, was a volunteer firefighter with Arcata Fire for 3 years, volunteer ski patrol at Mount Shasta for 3 years, and founded an international nonprofit in 2014 called InspireONE. Since 2014, he has coordinated and led over 30 individuals to Uganda to teach English and support village improvements in rural communities. Matthew's friends call him an extreme volunteer, but he just says he finds happiness in helping. So, Matthew,
Hello, everybody.
Hi there.
My name's Matthew. You've maybe seen me here once or twice before. Has anybody seen me here? Oh, you remember me. Cool. So, I'm going to get started once I see myself behind me. Once the technology expert.
Decides that it wants to work.
Yeah, no, it's okay. So I'm first going to show you a video. But like John said, I started a nonprofit in 2014. After I went to Uganda in 2013 and was really inspired by the individuals I met and the school that I fell in love with. I loved the school so much, I came back home and I was like, I want to go back to the school and I want to bring people with me. And so once a year I coordinated groups. In the last 4 years, during the summer, I lead groups to Uganda to teach English and work on village community projects. And so here's some that captures the last 4 years. Then after the video, I'm going to take you through the timeline of kind of what we've been up to, where we're at now, and where we're going to in the future. So you can play this. External storage.
Don't believe it. It really doesn't play.
It'll play, right?
It'll play.
It'll play, okay. If it doesn't play, then that's totally fine. We'll give it 30 seconds.
All right.
But in the meantime, it might be hard to see for most of you, but I have some little handmade poster boards here. We do fundraisers frequently, and these are old school, not technology, because look, technology doesn't always work. These always work, right? So if you have time afterwards, you can briefly see that we started a lunch project at the school, pictures of Uganda. The school is called Buikwe School, or otherwise known as Hamilton Elementary. I know most of you can't see all this.
Sound?
Is that me? No, that's not. That's the wrong video.
That's the wrong video.
Yeah, it's the Africa one.
Oh.
That's classified, actually.
Make it stop.
And then, no, I'm just kidding. And then, yeah, so all the photos of projects over here. So, also there is some handmade African goods from a women's group that we support once a year. I brought a couple items in. If anybody wants to support the cause and support the women's group afterwards, you can talk to me and get a little stuff like that. Cool. We'll skip the video. We'll say this was the video.
Yes.
Cool, but so in 2013, I went to Uganda, and here I am learning how to draw blood out of real human veins, testing for malaria, HIV, and other STDs. A couple people who came in, we did have to tell them that they were they did have HIV, which was a heavy day, but there's a school on the top right, that's Hamilton Elementary in Buikwe, Uganda, and there's me teaching, and here's a village group that I met. So this trip really inspired me, right? And the school, I wanted to help the school. And so the school, as you can see, I mean, there's many kids with no shoes, there's a building that wasn't finished, there's doors with no locks, windows with no shutters, and very minimal resources, right? I mean, kids are sharing pencils in classrooms, 2 pencils per classroom of up to 15 kids. Kids aren't able to really work because they're too busy holding their stomach, because they're starving, because they came to school without breakfast. They probably didn't eat dinner before, and they're maybe going to repeat that cycle. So I was like, there has to be something that I can do, right? So I came here, and I talked to friends, and I'm like, hey, I want to start like this organization, because I went to Uganda in 2013 and spent $7,000. You know, my parents did, one of the problems. But, so I was like, I can start something, and I want to start a group. And I started telling my friends, and then one of my friends was like, hey, you should talk to my dad, he's involved with Rotary. And I was like, what the heck is Rotary? You know, I was 20 years old, and sadly I didn't know what it was yet. But my friend Allie told me to text her dad, and I texted her dad, and her dad was Jim Maher. And then all of a sudden he was like, oh yeah, meet me at 7 a.m. at Brio. And I was like, 7 a.m.? Oh my gosh, Rotary does it early. Okay, so go to Cafe Brio, and there I was sitting across the table from, you might know some of these people, Jim Maher, Howard Stauffer, John Golem, and there was one other individual. And I was telling them like my ideas, showing them my pictures, and I was like, I started this Facebook group and a website, and I want to coordinate people and go to Uganda once a year. And they thought the idea was great, and they loved the idea to help the school. And then emailing back and forth after that, I was like, man, this Rotary thing is like, they're like mentoring me almost, sharing their ideas, and I'm sharing my ideas, and extended emails long after that. And here I am 4 years later with some progress, so I'm here to tell you what we've been up to. InspireONE is now the nonprofit that we started. There's our logo. What are we? We're a community service nonprofit. What do? We focus on education and village improvement projects in rural communities around the world, and create a platform for volunteer opportunities. So Village Support Network, we could not be here without them. They are the group that I first stayed with when I first went, and I spent all that money. And the man, Paul, on the right, he is the founder of the school that you saw, and the founder of this Village Support Network. He wanted to see his community sustainable. This is rural Uganda. I mean, kids are sleeping on dirt. These village members are sleeping with leaves for roofs, and using their t-shirts for pillows, and etc. And what I find fascinating when I met this village group is there's this box right here. And there's 4 locks on the box. Every month they get together. Paul holds the box at his house. 4 keys are distributed equally around in the village groups. And then once a month they get together, open up the box. And if anybody had raised any money, then they would put the money in there. It was basically community investing. And if you've seen Living on $1 a Day on Netflix, they go over kind of a model like this, where they save up enough money and then they buy a cow for the most suitable individuals. Then they'll have the cow, continue to community invest, and then by the time the cows, everybody gets a cow eventually, and then they work on to other things. I thought that was brilliant. There's no banking out in rural places like this. I mean, they create their own banking system. In 2015, we started fundraising after we founded in 2014. A year later, 9 individuals paid their own airfare, gave $400 to Village Support Network each, and we were all in Uganda teaching English and doing these village improvement projects. All of these peeps are raised in Humboldt County. We got Jordan Rohde, Olivia Carr, Echo Burke, Retta Hushley, Eli Heydrich, Alina Samuels, Sage Wolf, and myself. From NPA to Arcata High down to South Fork. We were marketing ourselves on social media, flyers, and local advertisement, and these are the individuals that paid a lot of money to come with us, but not $7,000 though. We wanted to create an affordable platform. They're there and back for under $3,000. Some of the projects we did: teaching English, cooking food. Tomo Restaurant has purchased 2 cows. Callus Salon has purchased 2 cows. Some local businesses that have shown us a lot of support. So we came back, and after our first year, I was like, wow, people are inspired after coming back, just like I was. They helped us fundraise. And so this next year, in 2016, was our second year. We had another 9 people sign up with us, and we raised a little sum of money to support the school, because soccer balls would go out to the street, and then children were getting hit by taxis and motorcycles, which are very sad stories. So we're like, we need to build a fence, we need to get them some pencils, we need to start a lunch project. So here's the individuals. We got more Arcata High alum. We got Nathan Heydrich, Forrest Iverson, Angie Patel, Colin Townsworth, and Tony Valtricus down from Fortuna High. Multiple Arcata High alums, and we got Fortuna High alums in there. Supported local businesses in Uganda by purchasing benches and tables and chairs. Another cow. This was cow by Callus Salon. Colin Townsend up there. Shoes That Grow. Does anybody know what this is? Yeah, from Because International. John Golem. I gotta give a special shout out to him, because we have now been able to bring over 350 pairs of shoes in the last 3 years, thanks to the coordination from John. So if I could give everybody could give a round of applause. Some of these children are walking 20 minutes to an hour one way to school. and I've seen the intense infections they could have. That was my first year. I haven't seen that anymore because they're keeping their feet off the ground. So really, thank you, John. It's a really big deal. And the kids love it. And we've seen the shoes last over a year and 2 years on some of the shoes because we go every year. So we see that they're still wearing the shoes before. So they're really durable. And then here's the fence that we helped build and purchase. And then, so our biggest success, I'd say, in InspireONE is the start of our lunch project. The kids were not being fed at the school, so we want to change that. And so we raised money to build a kitchen and hire a chef, a cook. So in the last we started this June 30th of 2016, and today is November 30th, 2018. So 17 months, and today marks the 85,000th meal that's been provided by the school. We committed to send $500 a month, do fundraiser over here, we send $500 a month, and that provides 5,000 meals at the school, 100 kids, 2 meals a day. So we've seen increased test scores, increased attendance, increased teacher participation because now the teachers are getting fed. Here's the very first lunch line. This took a lot of organization. It looked like they'd never done a lunch line because they realistically haven't. So yeah, big deals there. And then 2017, there's another crew. We got a Rotaractor, Megan McAllister. I went on the Rotary class mission with her. And then the top left, there's a woman named Jasmine. She came from Kentucky. She found us online. So that was our first real outside source of a volunteer, which is really cool, seeing the expansion happen. And then yeah, we've got some Arcata High folks, so still staying in the local community, but we're constantly seeing that people in the local community want to travel, they want to volunteer, you know, this is a thing. So we're riding with it. And then we funded a rainwater catchment system, 500-gallon tank, so now they're provided with water for all the cooking that they need to do every day, and sanitation, hand washing, and etc. More shoes they grow, thanks to John Golem. Kids love it. Then 2018 comes around, this year. Here's our crew. I was not able to go because I was saving money for grad school, but me not being able to go shows that the organization can still continue. We're at that point now. Sage Wolf, the left, is leading the trip. That was her 4th time going. And then we have Abby Anderson, Jimmy Thompson from Arcata High, Bryce Mateer from Arcata High, and Justin Furtado. So again, seeing more Arcata High folks in there, and maybe you guys know some of those names. And then this woman was from San Francisco, so another outside source volunteer. And this is the school today. After 4 years of small fundraisers and raising money from every volunteer that we bring over there, and using that money to infuse the economy there. We try to buy as much as we can while we're there. And now we got flagpoles, we got tires. Look at that roof now. I mean, that's what it was when I first went, and that's what it is now. Wow. We even got Tom and Jerry and Mickey Mouse over there. And yeah, we got Hamilton Elementary sign. So the school's doing a lot better. They're being fed. There's still issues with funding, though. I mean, we're over here, frequently doing fundraisers and needing to raise that $500. But we're making it happen. But we're also looking for a little support. But what are our future goals? Is to partner with organizations around the world to collaborate and send volunteers. Right now we're focused only on Uganda, but recently I've been in touch with a group in Peru. A friend of mine went to Peru a few years ago with this organization, and she was like, man, you should reach out to them and see if you can do a collaboration. Reached out to them, and then I was like, hey, can I coordinate volunteers and send them your way? And they're like, of course. And so this is our first international, other than Uganda, collaboration, and we have 2 individuals that have applied, and they're ready to go and teach English in Arequipa, Peru. Also talking to somebody right now about a nonprofit they work with in India, about 2020, sending volunteers to India, and working on becoming more involved in the global market, internet databases. So talking to local and international people on how to really put ourselves out there to the international community so we can get volunteers from New Zealand and Australia and etc. Currently in grad school, John said, so I'm applying for a position of study abroad in Australia next semester, which covers international business and global marketing. So my efforts will continue, and I'm going to continue doing this, and so hopefully you'll all see me again, giving you more updates down the road. But ways to support us, from little to big, we do rummage sales, yard sales, once a month, and you might have seen us outside Northtown Coffee. So these generate anywhere from $500 to $700 per month, and how we get the stuff is by asking people, like, hey, give us your old stuff, donate your quality junk. And then we resell it and use that money, and that is really how we're feeding those kids over there and sending them $500. So if you have any loose items around the house, the garage, something that your husband or wife has that you maybe will sneak and put away, they'll tell you, hey, don't take this way. No, I'm just kidding.
Be very careful doing that.
But yeah, so you can donate your junk, you can give it to us, and we'll resell it. We're trying to start a small business and kickstart a self-sufficient school. $5,000 to $7,000 will start a small business that I'm working closely to make a business plan. They already have 2 business plans going, so looking for an angel investor to donate $5,000 to $7,000, kickstart that small business, and then create the school to be self-sufficient. So if anybody out there is willing to work with me on that, or even just brainstorm on how we can, or how I can, get that to happen. I'm always just looking to network and talk to people, whether it happens or not. I just love networking and communicating. So I have business cards if anybody wants to collaborate. And then I'll end it with my quote here on the back of my cards, and what we've been all about is inspiring children today to care for the world of tomorrow.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Yes, we have a couple things for you. So we give you information in your name to the Wheelchair Foundation. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
And then, Maggie, could I get you to come?
Yeah, I was just going to say that World Community Services, our committee meets next Tuesday morning at 7:30, and one of the topics that we will put on the agenda is talking about how we might be able to work with his group. So if you're interested in having input into how our club can, at least from the financial side, be involved, come to the meeting Tuesday morning at 7:30 at Crystal.
Great, thank you. Cool. Yeah, awesome.
So,
Is there any type of question? Oh no, you guys gotta go.
I was just going to say, if you're able to stay after.
I am able to stay, yes.
Please stay, and if you have questions.
Yeah, come mingle with me afterwards if you have any questions. Thank you.